So welcome everyone. As you know, this is what month? Black History Month.
History Month.
Exactly. So with that said, I want to cover some stuff specifically, even though we always talk about Black history majority of the time in here. I just want to go deeper and cover a few things. So the first thing I want to do, y'all see this gentleman? You know who this gentleman is? Dr. J, exactly. And what Dr. J said was this: the key to success is to keep growing in all areas of life, mentally, emotionally, spiritual, and as well as physical, right? Now that's something we have to talk about. So the first part that he used was the mental.
Dr. Williams, I can't hear you.
1 second, we coming.
We got to read them, my brother, but we about to post it, okay? You about to post it on the screen. We're going to be reading them doing the popcorn. You remember like last time, right?
All right, right.
So we'll leave it at Dr. J. For those online, sorry, I'm gonna put it back so we can see what I'm looking at. All right. So who wants to start reading? You start with it was. Hold on. Matter of fact, make it even better because we got people. Y'all want to come up to the mic and read it, please? Be even better. Get you prepared for your public speaking skills. All right. There you go. So hold on, let me make sure they can see it as well. Here we go. Stop sharing that. Share this one. Here we go. All right. So let me make sure that they can see it. Can you see it, Peterson?
Yes, I can see it.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We're going to have Brother Joseph taking care of it. The floor is yours. Yeah.
All right. It was because of my letters that I happened to stumble upon starting to acquire some kind of homemade education. All right, do I keep going? All right. I became increasingly frustrated at not being able to express what I wanted to convey in the letters that I wrote, especially those to Mr. Elijah Muhammad. In the street, I had been the most articulate hustler out there. I had commanded attention when I said something, but now trying to write simple English, I not only wasn't articulate, I wasn't even functional. How would I sound writing in slang? The way I would say it, something such as, "Look, Daddy, let me pull your coat about a cat, Elijah Muhammad." You going? I bet. Many who today hear me somewhere in person or on television, or those who read something I've said, well, I think I went to school far beyond the eighth grade. Will think I went to school far beyond the eighth grade. This impression is due entirely to my prison studies.
Said this impression is due entirely to my what studies?
Prison studies.
Prison studies. How many of y'all have been to prison?
I hope not.
Okay, nobody. All right, great. So he had to learn this where? In prison. So right now, you guys are outside. Right? We outside. You in college. Y'all got y'all freedom.
Yes.
From the top part, it said, what kind of education do you have? He ain't say prison.
Eighth grade.
No, he didn't say eighth grade.
Oh, street. Street education.
No, what kind?
Oh, yeah, man.
Why is that important?
Whatever you put together.
that important? Personalized, right? You was what? Proactive about it. Exactly. What else? What else? Prison study. Anybody got friends who've been in jail or locked up, or cousins, uncles, anybody? Did they read any books? Probably been in any juvenile detention centers? Had to spend time there. That's when they finally could sit down and read a book. They come back feeling like they know a whole lot. But they finally took some time to read a book. He said this is homemade. So my question I ask y'all is, what's your homemade education? Forget the school. What are you putting into your mind and your body? Educate yourself. Homemade. Because we know who Malcolm X is, right? The world leader. So it's not just about what you learn at Union County College. It's what you take from Union County College and you add outside stuff to become a better individual. Homemade. So when Rick Ross say self-made, right? What self-made is about. So the time say self-made, that's what self-made is about. What are you putting into your mind? Because Dr. J said, what about success? The first word he used was what?
Mental.
Mental. Mental. Okay? So let's keep going.
All right.
You don't want to have, you don't have no prison studies here. You know what I'm saying? This is your opportunity to live free. You're not forced to do this. But educate yourself. Come on, let's go. You want to still read something?
All right, sure. It had really begun back in Charlestown prison when Bimby first made me feel envy of his stock of knowledge. Bimby had always taken charge of any conversations he was in, and I tried to emulate him. Before every book I picked, but every book I picked up had few sentences which didn't contain anywhere from one to nearly all of the words that might as well have been in Chinese. When I just skipped those words, of course, I really ended up with little idea of what the book said. So I had to come to Norfolk Prison Colony, still going through only book reading motions. Pretty soon, I would have quit even these motions unless I had received the motivation that I did.
Different stuff. How many times you heard in your book?
Never, bro.
Okay. But sometimes that's how you get confused.
I don't like how you read it.
Right?
Yeah.
So all the time you gotta look it up. And watch. No, well, he's talking about skipping words because he didn't understand. That's what I'm talking about. Skipping over it. But he was skipping words because he didn't understand.
All right. I saw that the best thing I could do was get hold of a dictionary to study to learn some words. I was lucky enough to read. I saw that the best thing I could do was get a hold of a dictionary to study to learn some words. Ah, you got Google.
You can type
I was
stuff.
lucky enough to read some.
So we should all have super strong vocabularies here. Right? Okay. All right. Thanks, Joseph. Who else wants to read? All right, somebody, please. Go ahead. Hey, come up, please. He does so that next I spent the 2 days. Huh? Oh, I was lucky enough. Is that it? This I was lucky enough.
Oh, I see. I got you.
Right, right. Oh, good. Yeah. That's my next line. Thank you. Go ahead. This is gonna be fun.
I was lucky enough to reason also that I should try to improve my penmanship.
Stop right there. He said I was what? Lucky enough to do what? improve my penmanship. Me, Mr. Miller, Salim, and I have always talked about the sign-in sheet. We don't know half of some people's names because we can't read it. When y'all sign your SAFA pills, you don't know who's doing this stuff. Penmanship. It speaks volumes to who you are. All right? Go ahead.
It was sad. I couldn't even write in a straight line. It was both ideas together that moved me to request a dictionary along with some tablets and pencils from the Norfolk Prison Colony School. I spent 2 days just rifling uncertainly through the dictionary pages. I never realized so many words existed. I don't know which words I need to learn. Finally, just to stand some kind of action, I began copying. In my slow, painstaking rage handwriting, I copied into my tablet everything printed on that first page, down to the punctuation marks. I believe it took me a day. Then aloud, I read back to myself everything I'd written on the tablet over and over aloud to myself. I read my own handwriting. I woke up the next morning thinking about those words, immensely proud to realize that not only have I written so much at one time, but I'd written words that I never knew were in the world. Moreover, with a little effort, I could also remember things what many of these words meant. I remember the words whose meaning I did not remember. Funny thing, from the dictionary's first page right now, that aardvark springs to my mind. The dictionary had a picture of it, a long-tailed, long-eared, burrowing African mammal, which lives off termites, caught by sticking out its tongue, as an anteater does for ants. I was so fascinated that I went on, I copied the dictionary's next page, and then the same experience came when I studied that. With every succeeding page, I also learned of people and places and events from history. Actually, the dictionary is like a miniature encyclopedia. Finally, the dictionary's A section had filled my whole tablet. I went into the B's. That was the way I started copying when eventually became the entire dictionary. It went a lot faster after so much practice helped me to pick up handwriting speed. Between what I wrote on my tablet and writing letters during the rest of my time in prison, I guess I wrote 1,000,000 words. I suppose it was inevitable that my word base broadened. I could for I could for the time pick up a book and read and now begin to understand what the book was saying. Anyone who has read a great deal can imagine the new words that opened. Let me tell you something. From then until I left prison, in every free moment I had, if I was not reading in the library, I was not reading in my bunk. I was reading in my bunk. You could have gotten me out of books with a wedge. Between Mr. Muhammad's teaching, my correspondence, my visitors, usually Ella and Reginald, and my reading of books, months passed without my even thinking of being in prison. In fact, up to then, I never had been so truly free in my life.
So what y'all think about that? I'm hearing crickets. I'm hearing crickets. Go ahead. What you got, man? Mm-hmm. So it's a daunting task, right? Now let's talk about that daunting task. Okay. So we reading. So y'all know who this gentleman is? All right. So French Montana, right from the Bronx. He said something. Now the dictionary doesn't that take time to learn, right? To sit there, write, and copy all these words from the dictionary, that takes time. But we want y'all to be successful, and people don't understand success. Success is really simple. And French Montana has a great quote that I love. Listen to what he says. He says, one place success is in front of work, is before work is in where? The dictionary. That's it. The only place success is before work is where? In the dictionary. What does that mean? Yes, but what else? No. I look confused. Exactly. Exactly. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Simply saying, if you don't put in the work, you can't be successful. If you don't put in the work, you can't be successful. And that's why he says the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary because of the alphabet, right? S comes before W. That's the only time. Nobody gets successful overnight. It takes work. All right? Studying that dictionary takes work. But that man was a world leader, be able to articulate himself, right? There's a lot of ways you can say kiss my ass, right? You can say it in an articulate way. Where it's just like, oh, he just said hi. You're really telling somebody, get up out of here. All right? And how you do that, you have to know words, right? We've been in meetings, people feel some type of way you say a certain word. You're speaking the English dictionary language, right? So study that. You have to master the language because it goes back to what he just said from the very beginning. You can't be writing, right? Mr. Miller's an English teacher. I wasn't an English teacher. But he's still an English teacher because it's in his heart. He's always an English teacher, I say. Right? He said you can't be writing letters saying, yo, that cat look cool over here. Bro, it's popping. Right? So when it comes to English, you know, Mr. Miller's here to help y'all. He have special time set up for y'all to actually use where he can help you with your writing. Think about that. This man did this for a living, training hundreds of people. Well, not even hundreds, it's thousands. You know how many thousands? Mr. Miller knows your father's father's father, you know? Training people. So it's an opportunity to learn. All right, you want to keep going? Or somebody else want to come read? Ooh, Eddie said he want to come up. Come up, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Man. You do this all the time, doing it in your DJ voice. Come on. All right. So I would like y'all to read the rest of this, but the way I'm feeling, I'd rather y'all read something else right now. So I got this because it's Black History Month. And I want to share this with y'all as well. You want to read, folks? Start reading. Yes. So y'all got that? Read the book. Life. Change your life. Why would you have read a book? If you want to do read this. You start hearing this? What's up? Yes, English. The revolution was not suicide. You ever heard that? Yep. Yeah. Yes, exactly. You listen to Freddie Gibbs? Oh, okay. Just good to know. Good to know. Let me put this. What's up, gentlemen? Let me put it on the screen for a minute. Let's do. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. I put it wrong, but here we go. Here we go. Okay. You see that? You got the paper in front of you. Go ahead. Thank you, folks. Let's go. Give it to your best smooth voice too.
Yeah, I
This
got
is
you.
like a rap.
I was wondering about our yesterdays and starting to digging through the rubble, and to say at least somebody went through hell, went through a hell of a lot of trouble to make sure that when we looked things up, we wouldn't fare too well, and that we would come up with total unreliable portraits of ourselves. But I complied what few facts I could. I mean, such as they are, to see if we could shed a little bit of light. This is what I got so far. First, white folks discovered Africa and they claimed it fair and square. Sealy Rose, right? Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah, Sealy Rose.
Speaking to the mic.
Speaking, oh, the mic.
Yeah, it's
You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, Sealy Rose couldn't have been robbing nobody because he said there was nobody there. White folks brought all the civilization since there wasn't none around. They said, how could these folks be civilized when you never see nobody writing nothing down? And just to prove all their suspicions, it didn't take too long. They found out there were groups of people in plain sight running around with no clothes on. That's right. The women, the men, the young, and old righteous white folks cover their eyes. See, so no time was spent consider the environment. Hell no. This just wasn't civilized yet. In other way, they knew the folks was backwards, or at least this how we were taught. Is that unlike the very civilized people of Europe? These black groups actually fought, and yes, there was some rather crude implements, and yes, there was some primitive art. Yes, they were masters of hunting and fishing, and courtesy came from the heart. And yes, this was medicine, love, and religion, and intertribal communication by drum. But no paper and pencil, other utensils, and hell, these folks never even heard of a gun. So this is why the colonies came to step, stabilize the land, because the dark continent had copper and gold, and discoverers had themselves a plane. They would discover all the places with promise. You didn't need no titles or deeds. You could just appoint people to make everything legal, to sanction the trickery and greed. And out in the bushes, if the natives got restless, you could call the guerrilla attack. You could call that the guerrilla attack, and never have to describe that somebody finally got wise and and decided they wanted their things back. But still, we are victims of words. We are victims of word games. Semetics is also a bitch. Places Semitic places once called underdeveloped and backwards are now called mineral rich. And still, it seems the game goes on with unity always just out of reach. Because Libya and Egypt used to be in Africa, but they've been moved to the Middle East. There are examples glory, I assure you. But if interpreting 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 was left up to me, I'll be sure every time folks knew this vision wasn't mine, which is why it is called his story.
Thank you. Yeah, I got that. So what did you get from it? Thank you, folks. And thank everybody who came up and read. Appreciate it. Who was it? Okay. So people got their own version of history. That's why it's called history. That's what y'all got from there. Y'all remember that last line, right? All right. So because of history, let me give y'all a list of just some things y'all may not know. Y'all can look at them. These are a whole bunch of things that have been invented by people that look like you. Einstein, right? But people don't tell you Einstein worked at the Paris company. Right? He was getting stuff submitted. He was beating all that on his own. Okay? Look for yourself. And this is just the beginning. You haven't done an up-to-date one yet, but there's plenty more.
Even
Oh, you going deep, man. I'll be telling you, sir. I'll be doing it.
I'll be reading.
So, I'll share that with y'all because these are things I want y'all to know because it goes back to when you feeling nervous or you scared, you know, there's a famous philosopher. Any of y'all taking philosophy here yet? Y'all did philosophy, so did y'all study Friedrich Nietzsche? Nietzsche. Okay. Well, there's a y'all watch TED Talks or anything like that. There's a motivational speakers who always talks about, oh, you need to find your why in life, right? Ever heard that before? I need to find my why. Huh? They usually say purpose, right? Well, when you look and you see the history, this is Black History Month, of all the things that have been invented. And you also got to remember, none of these people were in prison inventing this stuff. They did it on their own. The times they was doing this, people were not being treated, specifically us, properly and fairly. But they still somehow succeeded. So why did they do it? It's not about why anymore. The why mindset trying to find purpose. You know how you find your purpose? You find your purpose by saying, why not? Why not? If nobody did this, why not me be the first one? If nobody was a professor who taught rap all day, because you know there's quite a few now. There's actually a whole curriculum, there's plenty of books and all that stuff published about this stuff. Why not me be the first? Right? How many times do we watch on the news? This is the first person that did that, the first person that did this, Black person. Why not it be you? Why not? Forget the why. From now on, we have to change. He said success starts off mentally, your mindset. Why not me? When I'm applying for this, everybody got the scholarship for the opportunity to internships for Mellon, for NY Mellon, right? I sent it to everybody. 506 people was text. I sent it to you. If you did not get it, it's an opportunity. February 14th, it's an internship. Right? So you got to do it. But I'll send it to those who didn't do it. Why not apply? Right? And I was in sports. Sports was the right thing. Right? We do know the right thing now, specifically why. What just happened? Exactly. Right? So why not me try to get my way through the door? Why not? Because when you do that and you start saying, why not me, other people gonna follow. Right? Last week, we talked about Claudette Calvin, right? Calvin. Why not her? It's not today. So this is how you change history. Forget about the why. It should always be why not me? Why not you? Why you can't run your own company, go to school, play sports? Why not? A lot of times we do what? We say why we can't do it. Oh, I gotta work. Oh, this is too hard. It requires me to sit here and type and write this book or copy this book over and over. That's too much time. Why not? Is the mindset we have to have. And once you do that, I guarantee you, things will just go up and up and up. Because you know why? What do you talk about when you learn? What did Malcolm X say? Malcolm X. The last, that's why we stop right there, because we continue to read that. It goes on to why books are important. What was the last thing he said? Last sentence. If you could do what? So you could be free in life. When you say why not, you ain't scared no more. You're saying, oh, why I'm giving excuses. That means you're scared. You're doubting. Why not? Yo, I'm not the best basketball player. But why not try out for the team? Because what has to happen? I gotta tell you, you're not good. But if you don't even show up to the court, you ain't even in the game. And there's the old saying that if you don't even shoot, aim for the star. Oh God, what's his kid name? Little TJ, right? He said, shoot for the star. I heard the song. No, it's not possible. It's TJ.
Right here, go ahead.
The storm is going to shoot for the star.
Yes, yes.
If you shoot for the star, that's the information. Got to be in it to win it. I know who Yolanda Vega is. Yolanda Vega. Now, Yolanda Vega, just thank you. Who said it? Yeah. She used to do the Powerball every night. Yeah, she just retired. See, I know somebody in here watching. That was a big deal. She was doing the news every night when the lotto came on. Your mom, the father wasn't there, aunts. All right, we see what you line is for. Hey, our name is Yolanda Vega. I'm about to give you the winning number. You did that for 32 years. But the old saying is, you got to be in it to win. They put us in a group, basically, like these are our neighbors. One of the people in my group, I'm in the master group. When the group was like, y'all actually read this book every day? Y'all actually read? I just look at the clip notes. I actually read.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I posted down during slavery, why they told us that we couldn't read. The read is power, knowledge is power. At the end of the day, one thing that you have knowledge to escape the things that they put in involve metaphorical. Once you take that knowledge, get out of it. Oh, why it's so scary? Black people have only known how to read for a couple of years. We're ready to take it over. You see the difference, right? They stole the books from us. They kept taking the knowledge from us. So now they're taking it back. It's an issue. That's why y'all have the job to learn how to read. Basically, y'all can read everywhere. Y'all have your phones.
Mm-hmm.
And some of y'all just skip out. Y'all don't understand that the knowledge that y'all getting right now is going to make it better for your family.
And your family.
Right now is going to change the whole trajectory of who your family is. So you have the opportunity to do it as a doctor. Because that's all I'm talking about right now. What kind of engineer you want to be? What kind of scientist you want to be? You understand? This is right now. So the guys in the room that probably wasn't daydreaming, I'm telling you, this is right now. Right now is the perfect. It's called word clearing. When y'all don't understand a word, you go back and you research what that word is. Because when you go past studies already show, you go past 3 words on the page,
You don't understand nothing that you just. So understanding every read is very word for you. So my math program literally said they don't read. And these are people that's gonna probably pass on against these positions and are leading people and they don't read.
Not only don't know,
You don't know.
as they say in gym, boys in the hood don't know where to go, show, or what's going on in life.
So my brothers right now, I'll tell you, it's open market right now. Take your education. Take focus.
Mhm.
Understand that what y'all doing right now is important. I'm telling y'all, ain't nobody doing it like property. Ain't nobody doing it like this. Because we trying to put something in your head. We're not just trying to put something in your pocket. Understand, we give y'all scholarships and everything. I'm telling you, this knowledge is for it's priceless. Every day. It's got to take it. Y'all got to understand when that paper is showing you all those inventors, that's going to be y'all. Y'all going to be the trendsetters. Y'all the trendsetters right now. Y'all don't even know. They're going to dress like us, look like us, talk like us, walk like us. Think back now, working with Dr. Mills, I'm like, you got to start getting in that mindset of getting what world we're living in right now. You got to be educated. Don't read. They're going to give us now. They're going to give us something on TV. They're going to give us something in the book. We're just going to accept it. That's what it is. Okay?
Anybody else want to share anything?
I don't feel like that's society. So do that. Those people come to another point. How would I believe? They're literally all those slaves or strong slaves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Something, something like that. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because even to this day, the richest person in
Mm-hmm.
so great. He was so happy. Just literally about
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, who was here first, right? Now, in that, well, if you go on and finish reading the chat, what we were reading from Malcolm X, it gives you a whole history. Matter of fact, there's a whole website designed as a famous historian, white guy. Name is his last name is Zen, Howard Zen. He has history as a weapon. History as a weapon. That is the website. Matter of fact, I'll punch it up. You know, I don't talk nothing. I'll show you. Everything in there talks about everything that has started in history, that things that are excluded. Here you go, right here. So, go back. So, this is the old saying why people put things in the book. Right? Now, this is his book. He's a famous professor from Boston University, Harvard, all that stuff. And he talks about history, all the different time periods. That was his last book. He passed away. But if you just go look and read, get information from it. Because the information is out there, but it requires us to read and learn. Everything. Everything requires reading and learning. So you're mental. And why not do it now? Don't wait till you old. You at the prime of your life. Right now, y'all can get up and just run, do 20 jumping jacks. Don't get tired. You just, all right, I'm going to the next one. You start getting 50, 60 years old, you doing jumping jacks? Exactly. So this is the prime time. You are in your prime. You know, like NBA, think about it. If y'all look at sports, this is why you sports a lot. An NBA player is retiring at 30. 30 is nothing. Y'all almost at 30. By the time y'all graduate college, y'all supposed to be 21 to 24 years of age. 6 more years after that, you supposed to be retiring from playing back. That's young. They call you washed up at 30. Think about that. So now is the perfect time to do it. Why not? So I'm not going to talk y'all to death. That's what I wanted to share with y'all. The importance of reading. We're going to continue every week we meet. More history, more life lessons. So any questions? Anything y'all want to talk about? Y'all all good? Y'all understand the message?
Yes, sir.
Right. All right. Any news y'all want to share? We got some lacrosse players want to talk about their upcoming season. You know, one. uh-huh. Yes. Listen, y'all know who Jim Brown is, right? The running back. Yeah, that's what you know him as. But Jim Brown was better at lacrosse than he was at football. Go look it up. Syracuse University, All-American every year lacrosse. But they don't talk about that. How you gonna learn that? They rarely talk about his lacrosse career. Because it's not a professional, lacrosse like that is not known like football. You understand? So the information is out there. So what else? So those who are on Zoom, I'm gonna Zoom on WebEx, I'm gonna stop it. If y'all on campus, you can come down and get you something to eat. Okay? And for. All right. See you later.